And welcome to 2 days of fantastic entertainment, speakers, conversations, and new ideas. Today, as you see, we're bigger than ever. There's going to be 2,500 people coming through the doors of Sime here on Gröna Lundsteatern, where we have Sime Retail Summit, we have Sime HR Summit, we have Sime Social Impact Summit, and we're also going to have, for the first time, Women in Tech at Sime. In addition, we're going to have 24 workshops and fantastic conversations. There's a tradition in Sime, and it's that when speakers speak a little bit too long, we try to remind them in the kindest but most clear way we can imagine. So if you speak too long, anything can happen, just that you know that as a speaker. So if you're speaking and people start laughing more to you than you know, the merit of your fun, and you see something like this happening in the background, you're overextended the hospitality. And we usually start with one Teletubby, but if that doesn't work, we'll just keep on sending Tubby after Tubby after Tubby. Hello, Teletubby. Thank you. I think we get the point. We're also very happy to have a fantastic artist. It's Antonino from Wonderman, and he can make things come to life in a way that we will remember these days. So Antonino will be on stage, he's over here, he'll be anywhere working with his surface, creating beautiful artwork for us. And I think that's also very symptomatic for his type of new young creators. They will work anywhere, always connected, and the way they want to work. Well, I'd like to kick off the day by taking you on a journey in digital opportunities and distilling some of the cool things that we've seen during the last year since we met. I've been traveling around the world. I've been to Silicon Valley. I've been visiting a lot of the new, interesting companies, but also a lot of the companies transforming and recreating their industries. So, a staggering figure is that we actually get 144 billion emails per day. And if you look at 3 billion people sending that many emails, you wonder why we also send 64 billion WhatsApp messages. WhatsApp didn't even exist 5 years ago. Now it's worth more, it's worth $18 billion. If you don't realize how much that is, it's more than the 50 most valuable pieces of art, all trains in France, and the 20 most valuable football teams put together. You have Instagram being sold for 1.6 billion after 10 months. You have Uber valued at $18 billion. $18 billion. You have Swedish Mojang that was sold a couple of weeks ago to Microsoft for $2 billion. Airbnb was started by a couple of guys that couldn't keep their apartment in San Francisco. So they said, let's buy air mattresses. Let's just make an Airbnb where we have air mattresses and rent them out to people. Now the company's worth $10 billion. Twice as much as the Marriott hotel chain, which has hotels on every cool beach and city in the world. They have no assets apart from their air mattresses. So we're seeing that there's a new breed of very, very fast-growing, value-creating companies. And they're disruptive, and they're growing in ways that we haven't seen before. And I think that as a large company, you need to understand this, fear this, and try to understand what that means for your industry. And if you're an entrepreneur, you probably want to build exponential companies as well. And we have Dave Roberts here from Singularity University, who will take us to disruptive technology and how to build exponential companies. It's also interesting to see that older companies are growing wings and becoming a lot stronger. Alibaba is worth a staggering $230 billion. And Jack Ma, the founder, the first time he spoke internationally was actually at Sime 1997. He came out with a skull like this in black, and he said, to B2C or B2B, that is the question for me, because we only have 30,000 internet users in China. Now it's a lot more valuable than Amazon. So if we, the last 5 years here, have been speaking a lot about digital transformation, should we, when, how does it impact us? I think that the next 5 years is going to be a lot more about the how. How can we execute digitally? Thomas Franzén, the new CEO of Bonnier, he's speaking here tomorrow. He said, we've known what to do in the media industry the last 5 years. Now it's figuring out exactly how to do it. So we're going to speak a lot more about the how and about the why. We're beyond why. And I also see that digital has gone from being the agenda point number 11, the point that you don't really have time to discuss. We'll see if we have time. And there's been a person in charge of digital or a department somewhere low in the organization. Now it's agenda point 1. And we see that there's a lot of management teams here from large industrial groups that have gone, all of them, and they're sitting in the audience right now. Because digital touches every industry, every function in a company, and every relationship with customers. So another interesting trend is that large companies are starting to embrace startup mentality, opening their doors to entrepreneurs and innovating completely different ways, and dreaming of becoming lean, mean, and fast as the smaller companies. And they're doing so by driving with vision and passion rather than processes and size and these other things. And we're going to have a lot of interaction. We're going to have workshops about innovation. We're going to see movies from hackathons. And we're also going to invite you to co-innovate with some of the largest companies in the world. And I love this quote by Jeff Bezos, the Amazon founder. He says that if you want to be truly innovative, you have to deal with being misunderstood for quite some time. What makes these companies different? What makes an Amazon different? Well, I think that they lead with vision, and they really believe in the vision. Steve Jobs, he said, you got to believe it to see it. Instead of saying seeing is believing, is you got to believe it to one day be able to see it. And every industry with this mindset becomes a platform that you can innovate on top of. So what yesterday was a car is now an invitation to innovate and create new services and things on the platform with 4 wheels and a computer. Your home is becoming the next Klondike, where people are rushing in to create the new digital service layers on top of the houses, the new experiences. Things that we have in our pockets right now will of course not be there in the future. We laugh when our kids say, "Did you really have keys? Why did you have keys?" A lot of things will disappear, just like the alarm watch disappeared. Samsung speaks about a know me, show me, tell me home, a house that will know you. Ola, you got to leave now. You're always late if you leave later than this. Or you might want to see this TV show coming on in 5 minutes, or whatever it might be, and can show me things and start predicting things. Another frontier is Internet of your body. And if you want to be trendy at a dinner, you say, well, what's your IOB strategy? An Internet of the body starts out with wearables and things, like Google Glass and other things. And when Google Glass came out, everybody said, "What, am I actually going to wear these things?" And it started picking up. But it also posed a lot of problems. What if you're filming me? I don't really want that. So in San Francisco, there's a trend where people scream, "You glass hole," when somebody has glass on. But there's also an even more interesting frontier. What happens if we hack our bodies? Our computers get smarter and smarter and smarter every day. Will they someday take over? No, because we're going to include technology in our bodies. It started with the contact lenses and with the teeth that we can make, but it's increasingly going to be completely different frontiers where you can add intelligence and other things to your body. Today, you see I don't have any notes because I have a sweatband connected to cerebral stimuli in there, and you'll see it and you can be able to test it. That makes me remember more, and it activates the parts of my brain that makes me remember more. You can also, because we're going from the why to the how, insert a chip. Anybody that wants to insert a chip here during Sime, we have a surgeon that will insert it in your hand or wherever you want to have it, and you'll be connected forever. And as the body hacking philosophers say, they say, why would you want to be silent and not connected to the world all the time? Think about it. It's on the house. Yeah, it's nice with applause. Come on, an applaud is nice. Technology companies are taking on big bets and dreaming big. Google has started a venture to cure death. And they think that if we can just hang in there for another 40 years, maybe they can give us another 40 years. And they put in $1.5 billion in seed funding to try to hack and reverse engineer aging. They call these kind of ideas moonshot ideas. A moonshot idea is something so compelling, passionate, important, and difficult to make, so it draws the brightest brains. And if you do that, the industrial impact is staggering. So we're proud that the speaker roster this year is uncompared in Sime's history. We have CEOs of top companies like Absolut Vodka or Bonnier or the Huffington Post. We have startups that you've never heard of, but that's going to revolutionize their industry, like Urbit and others. And we have thinkers, we have 15-year-olds, we have academics and aficionados. Because what we want to do is to try to change your mind. And your brain is plastic. I just learned this. Your brain is a muscle. You're not born with your intelligence and wisdom. It's a function of what you do with your brain. And that's good news for everybody here. And I went to a lecture with a Professor Einhorn, and he said that if you think about hooligans, maybe the most stupid people in the world, and you just sort of try to be in their head for 5 minutes, and that's one group. And the other group, they think about a beautiful, intelligent professor. In this example, Einhorn himself. The result is that the two groups develop different problem-solving skills. These guys, the hooligans, they become worse at solving basic problems. And the other group becomes better at serving basic problems. Could you imagine what this means to you? They did that 5 minutes. You're going to be with rock star speakers, and even real rock stars, during 2 days and have all these conversations. So let's look at some industries, just as a safari. What will happen with the TV industry? When I asked YouTube's management, they said, well, you know, Ola, traditional TV is like Switzerland. It's breathtakingly beautiful, high quality, not super exciting, and it's not going to grow. Whereas we're more like India. 1 billion people likes it, not always that great quality. We don't know if we're going to get paid or if the numbers are right, but man, it's going to be interesting in the future.